Welcome back to the channel, 40k Theorist. You're watching Theory Hammer, and today we're going to take a look at the AdMech Sydonian Dragoons. Now, I know that AdMech have not been particularly great this edition, and that's probably deserved because they were always nuts until now, so I'm not sure how many of you really care about this unit, but if you do love the AdMech like I do, then stick around, and I'll tell you why I think this is such a good unit. So thunderhammer that like and subscribe button, thunderhammer the bell, leave a comment, check out the other videos, and check out the other channel. We got a Total War 3 Let's Play coming soon. So what are we working with here? Well, let's go over the army rule, which is the Doctrina Imperatives. At the start of the battle round, you get to pick one of these two doctrines to go in. You get 3 abilities from each one. We're not going to go over the Protector one. We care about the Conqueror one. Ranged weapons gain assault. You improve the weapon skill by 1, and if you're near battle line, so within 6 inches of them, you get plus 1 AP to your attacks. That's just all your attacks. They get plus 1 AP. Now, this can get a little complicated to use, but I tend to be in the Conqueror Doctrine almost all the time, and because of that, the army is actually more of a combat army than a shooting army. You have good shooting and you have good combat. It's just that your shooting hits on 4s, and if you want to be in the better doctrine, it makes your weapon skill better. So you are more of a combat army kind of at heart, and we do have some good combat units like the Iron Striders. But yeah, from now on, everything is weapon skill 3 and plus 1 AP basically, and gain assault, but that's not important. So, let's take a look at the Iron Striders datasheet, because these guys are awesome. They move 10 inches, they're toughness 7, they have a 3-up save and a 5-up invuln, they have 7 wounds, their leadership 7, there's a lot of 7s there, and their OC is 2. They do have Deadly Demise 1, so not a big deal there, and they have Stealth. They have the Doctrina, so they can become better, but then they have Dynamic Efficiency as their actual datasheet rule. They're eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which they advanced or fell back, and you can reroll Desperate Escape test taken for this unit. So if you surround them, they're just going to walk over you and probably not die. Then you got your Broad Spectrum Data Tether, gain CP back on a 5-up when you target the unit. Now for weapons, they have this Phosphor Sapentia thing. It's 18-inch range pistol with ignores cover. Strength 5, basically AP 2, 2 damage. Whatever. But for melee, this is where these guys shine. 4 attacks, weapon skill 3 because we're in the good doctrine, strength 7, AP 3 because we're in the good doctrine, 2 damage, anti-walker 2+, lance, sustain 2. You take these things in units of 3 and they're 65 points each. So for a unit of 3, you're looking at 195 points. And so it's 21 wounds at toughness 7 with a 3-up save, a 5-up invuln, with stealth, and good combat for sub 200 points, and they're fast, and they can advance, fall back, and charge. So this already feels good. The average on their attacks is 12 when you're hitting on 3s. So against any non-tank thing, that's 10 wounds at AP 3 for 2 damage. Against a tank type thing, they average about 6 wounds at AP 3 for 2. So you're looking at about 10 wounds there. If you're talking like a Predator, something that has like a 3-up save. And that's not even their ideal target, and they still kind of fuck that shit up, so what is their ideal target? Well, it's walkers. Anti-walker 2+ is super weird, but oddly relevant. Battlesuits are walkers. Forge Fiends and Mauler Fiends are walkers. Dread Knights are walkers. Hellbrutes are walkers. Obviously Imperial Knights are walkers. And basically what I'm saying here is there's a lot of fucking walkers that are relevant. And since you have Sustained 2 and Lance, their ceiling overall is just really high. Sometimes you just roll 5 6s on 12 dice. Like, you don't mean to, and it feels bad for your opponent, but sometimes you just do that. And you also only miss with a couple. So you miss with like 2, you bring back 10, and suddenly you have like 20 hits, and you have like 60% more than you started with Lance, Anti-Monster 2+ at AP 3 for 2 damage. But then we have detachments, and there are 2 detachments that I think you really care about, which is going to be Halo Screed and Hunter Cohort. Now, initially, when I built my Halo Screed list, I did not include these guys, but after playing the Halo Screed build for a little bit while we were on vacation, I think that these belong in there. And if you are playing Halo Screed, you are using a bunch of non-Skitarii stuff anyway, but I do think that the Hunter Cohort is better of the 2. But Halo Screed does have some rather interesting things that benefit them. First, you got your detachment ability, which can give you +2 to your movement. So now they're moving 12 inches and they can advance and charge. Boosting movement is just always a good thing, flat out all the time, doesn't matter what it's on. And then we have stratagems, like Targeting Override, which can give them crits on 5s. Now those Sustained 2 can just go absolutely nuts, dude. It's an average of 16 hits. And separately because your detachment lets you pick which units are Halo Screed units, you can then use Neural Overload on these guys, which lets you pick another unit and just give them one of the detachment abilities. They don't become a Halo override unit, but they get one of the abilities from the detachment rule. So becoming toughness 8, that's pretty interesting to do on them because that's a very nice break point to have. They already have advance and charge built in. They already have stealth built in. So the only choice there is the +2 move or the +1 toughness. Being toughness 8 becomes interesting with the next tech piece here, which is the Tech Priest Engine Seer. That rhymed. I've been running 3 of these in the Hunter cohort, so I will go over them again. But these guys give you some real durability that Halo Screed doesn't have. Like, they don't have any durability stuff going on. And you can apply this tactic to other units as well, such as the Castellan robots. And so I'm a big fan of these Engine Seers. But yeah, what they do is they give Feel No Pain to vehicles. So you can give your Striders a 5+ Feel No Pain, and then also use the strat on them, choose Toughness 8, and now you've got this unit of Toughness 8 things. It actually makes them significantly more durable against a lot of things. So to boil that down, you'd be Stealth, you'd be Toughness 8, you'd have a 3-up save, a 5-up invuln, a 5-up Feel No Pain, 7 wounds, and that is simply... One does not simply destroy an Iron Strider unit at that point. So all your Strength 4 wounds on 6s now. Strength 7 goes to wounding on 5s. Strength 8 goes to wounding on 4s. So it affects like a whole bunch of different things, making it harder to wound these guys. Strength 8, or Toughness 8 is a good breakpoint to be. So it makes like mid-strength weapons even less effective against them. You can also pop eradication protocols on them if you really want to destroy something dead. So, you know, they charge in, you give them reroll hits of 1 and reroll wounds of 1. That's a thing that you could do. So for 2 CP, it gets you like 18 wounds against anything toughness 6 or less, or a walker at 732. So there is some cool stuff in there, and I really like those Engine Seer Tech Priest guys. I like them a lot. But that is what the Halo Screed is going to get us there. The Hunter cohort gets us even more things. Now, for the detachment rule itself, we basically gain nothing. We literally gain nothing, like it doesn't hit this unit at all. But they are a Scutari unit, so we do have a lot of strats that we can use. And one of them is called Bionic Endurance. It just so happens that it gives the whole unit Feel No Pain, and you can use it in the shooting or the fight phase. And it's somehow 1 CP. Oh, and I actually forgot to touch on this. I guess I could have touched on this a little more, but when you target these guys with stratagems, like I said earlier going over the datasheet, they can get them back on a 5+. So, okay, chance to regenerate it as well, and since you're going to hit them with a few different things, you should end up discounting a couple of strats during the game. But anyway, 5-up Feel No Pain, right? That's dumb, because we have 3 of those engineers. They give the other unit a 5-up Feel No Pain until my next turn. So those get zoomed out because advance and charge, they swing in. Now you have to deal with 2 of them, and destroying 2 units with a 5-up Feel No Pain, stealth, 3-up, 5-up, it's just hard. It's pretty goddamn hard. But like, you don't just give them to your opponent if they can deal with them, but most armies just cannot deal with that. It's like 42 wounds that always makes your damage less because they have 7 wounds each, so you're always losing damage, but it's like 42 wounds with stealth, a 5-up invuln, and a 5-up Feel No Pain at like toughness 7 or higher, depending on the detachment. In this detachment, it would be toughness 7. And so the amount of dedication that it requires means you're forcing your opponent to trade really poorly. And because remember, we're spending less than 600 points on 3 of these things, and they do have a lot of damage output. It's not crazy, but it is enough to kill units and to like actually hurt almost anything. They do 10 damage to a Predator. Like, they kill an entire Space Marine, not a 10-man, but like they kill an entire Space Marine unit with like 5. So that's all dead. They probably kill a Space Marine unit and a character when they charge in, especially if you tank shock first or something. It's like they can kill things. It's just like killing them back is the hard part efficiently because they're only 195 points. And if you don't kill them back, they can fall back and charge you. So yeah, 2 units of them with a Feel No Pain, absolutely great. Those engineers also allow your army to play in a way where you can zoom out Striders while also zooming out something else like Rust Stalkers, because you can then pop the 5-up Feel No Pain strat on the Rust Stalkers instead and watch their durability go through the roof because it just becomes way more than you expect. Like 2 damage weapons, they just bounce, they don't bounce off, but like you have a 66% chance to make a Feel No Pain when you roll 2 dice. So like you're consistently not killing one guy. Like it's absorbing a wound or 2 every time. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's annoying to kill those fucking things because they also have stealth. They have a 5-up Feel No, 5-up invuln and a 5-up Feel No Pain. And if you're over 12 away, they gain cover as well in this detachment. Now for other strats, we do have Benheric Offensive. This gives 2 units +1 AP, so you could conceivably charge these, like 2 of these into the same thing, some big, annoying asshole unit, some big Death Star or something, and be hitting it at AP4. So depending on what that is, it's just dead. It's just dead, dude. An Imperial Knight basically gets like launched into space by that. The next one that is really good is going to be Isolate and Destroy. So the one before it, Benheric Offensive, it's 2 CP. You could get one back because you're targeting a unit. Can you roll for both units? Someone let me know in the comments. If I target 2 Iron Strider units with Benheric Offensive, do I roll a 5-up for both units? Obviously, you can only get it back once, or you can only discount it once, or however it's worded. You can only do it once. But, like, do I get to roll twice because I'm targeting 2 units that both allow me to maybe get it back? Let me know in the comments. I'm actually not sure, and I don't feel like looking it up in that 35-page fucking second rulebook. Anyway, Isolate and Destroy. It's a little bit niche. It's +1 to wound, and it only works when the enemy unit that you're targeting is outside of 6 inches of any other enemy unit. And you just don't need it on these guys because they can just fall back and charge, and they basically always have +1 to wound. So this exists. You could theoretically use it here if you wanted to, but you're not going to. But it exists. Other than those strats, there's not much else here. But man, having that Feel No Pain on multiple units, one of which gets it the entire battle round with the potential for you to regenerate your CP when you use it. It's just dirty, dude. Like, it's dirty, bro. And it gives AdMech a thing they don't really have a whole lot of, which is really durable units. This is really durable. It's a very durable unit with the help of either the strat or the engineers. And those things are just my favorite, dude. They get the engineers. They get 7 attacks if they're near a vehicle that dies, as long as they're within 12 inches of it. They gain +3 to their profile for their attacks, so they get a total of 7 attacks, weapon skill 3, strength 6, AP 2 or 3, hopefully, flat 2 damage. They're alone op near vehicles. They're just good for doing actions. They're funny late game, for some counter punch on stragglers and stuff. They're just awesome. Now, what I'm not going to do here is I'm not going to have these Iron Striders attack a whole bunch of different units like I do in some other videos, because they're not really a super unit. They don't have that many attacks to annihilate like anything, except for like Imperial Knights. But even then, like they don't do 26 wounds to an Imperial Knight. They do like 18 to 20 on average, I would say. And then you roll your Feel No Pain. So they're not like you need 2 of them to flip a knight or give them plus AP4 or something. So they can do a lot of damage to a lot of different things, but they're not killing a whole lot of crazy units. They're just doing damage to you. You're not killing them, hopefully. They can fall back and just hit you again and just do other stuff while the rest of your army you shoot another one in there and do more shit and just kind of like overwhelm them with stuff that they can't kill. So I'm not going to have them attack a bunch of units, but I think you guys understand that that's not really what this video is about. This is just a good-ass unit, dude. The fact that they can hurt anything and have some really good targets that they do just kill, like walkers or knights or things like that, they'll kill like a baby knight. Like they'll just drop a baby knight for sure. As well as the potential of like being quite durable at their cost, at their speed. They're just great. Like they're just fucking great. They have an annoying profile that like nothing is efficient into because it's 7 wounds, and 7 wounds is like the best thing ever. They have a 3-up save, 5-up invuln. They're going to have that 5-up Feel No Pain if you take either the strat or the tech pieces. They've got stealth, so you're already having trouble hitting them in the first place. They have advance and charge built in and fall back and charge at a 10-inch move. They have 4 attacks at strength 7, probably AP 3, with sustained 2 for 2 damage, lance, anti-meta 2+, 65 points. $60 plus tax and shipping. Probably more now that tariffs are kicking in. Probably like $80 now for a 65-point model or something shit like that. AdMech are nuts when it comes to how expensive they are, so find alternative ways of getting them, I guess. But yeah, man, that's a great unit. Great unit. I might even run 2 of them in my Halo Screed build. I'll have to rebuild that list and do something there. Just because they actually have some pretty high damage output when you do combine those 2 strats together. I forget what they're called already, but you can just missile a unit out, give it Feel No Pain with the engineers, use those engineers to give Feel No Pain to robots later on. So combined with the robots and probably some other shooting stuff, sounds sort of like a pretty interesting build, actually. So we'll have to add those to that list. But let's talk about how to deal with them. How easy is it to deal with these Iron Striders? You just move block them, honestly. You know, you have a unit of Poxwalkers, you have a unit of Guardsmen, you have a unit of something like that. You just don't kill them all. You just don't have enough attacks. You're probably looking at like 10 wounds on average. At AP3, okay, so at AP3 it should kill a guardsman unit to the man. So, yeah, like, it's just not great there. You've got to roll exactly average. We all know that doesn't always happen. Yeah, 12 is their average number of hits, but if you roll a little under and get, like, 10, then you're not killing the whole unit, probably. You're probably not wounding a couple, and then you got one guy left. So, he can just get in your way. Yeah, you just move block them. I'm way over explaining this. Just get them their way. You can throw things into them that they can't just kill. Yeah, they'll fall back and they'll do their own thing next turn, but if you're in the way, then you can limit what they can do. But if you do leave a channel for them to go through, they're going to take it. And you only need to get one of the Iron Striders in base with an enemy model, because the other ones just touch the guy that's in base, and now they're all able to swing. So move blocking wins games. Go watch that video, because that's just true. Maybe it's linked, maybe it's not. The timing between when I edit these and when I post them is long enough for me to just totally forget to add that to the description. So that is pretty much how you deal with them. Obviously, you can shoot them and attack them in combat to put them down. It's just going to take dedication, and it's probably not going to be a great trade. And you're not going to be able to do it with one unit. You're probably going to need 2 units, like 99% of the time. So try to move block them, I guess, is what you want to do. Otherwise, that's going to be it for this video, my fellow 40k theorists. If you enjoyed it, thunderhammer the buttons, comment, check out the other videos and the other channel where we'll eventually start the Total War 3 games. I'm playing as Shooty Dwarves. What's his name? I was calling him like Grundy the other day in a dwarf voice. I knew it was wrong. Grundy! Mackeson? I think his name is something Mackeson. I don't know. Shooty Dwarves. So, check it out. It's going to be fun. Hoorah. Thanks for watching, everyone. Theory hard. And I'll see you in the next video.